Hi everyone, welcome to the 20,000 subscribers Q&A. A few days ago I posted on my main channel asking you guys for questions since some people wanted me to do a Q&A for this milestone. I got way more comments than I was expecting. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little nervous that there wasn't going to be enough questions to even do a Q&A and it was gonna be really embarrassing, so that was a relief, but also it's far too many questions to answer in one video, so I decided to pick the 20 I thought most people would be interested in, and if you guys really like this, maybe I can make a follow-up where I answer more of these questions sometime. So, first question is a two-parter. Did I like Ness and Lucas's portrayal in the Subspace Emmisary, and if not, how would I rewrite them? So, this is a somewhat complicated question because that game was my first exposure to those characters, so I didn't really think much of how they were being written because when it came to Subspace, I didn't know a lot of the characters, so I didn't know how they should have been portrayed. But, I mean, looking back, I don't think it's necessarily as bad as a lot of people think. I did a video on this a couple years ago talking about the portrayal of Lucas specifically in Subspace Emissary, so if you want to know more about my thoughts on it, you can just watch that video. But yeah, I'm not as torn up about it as it seems a lot of people are. You know, it's like there's 35 something characters in that story, and to be able to give them all something meaningful to do, it's just, you know, it's kind of a really tall expectation, especially from a fighting game with no dialogue. The next question was asked by several people, and that is, what is my favorite Mother-like or indie game inspired by Mother? To be honest, I haven't played that many, and a lot of them I am playing I haven't finished yet, so I am going to have to default to Undertale here, which I know is disappointing to a lot of people because they would like something more unique than that, but that's all I have to say, though I am really looking forward to that game Momo Inc. that is being worked on right now. That one looks really good. I'll play that when it comes out. From Mega Harv, what is my favorite useless item in the Mother series? The pencil eraser, but specifically from Mother 3, because I just think it's hilarious how it's just, there's a pencil right next to it, use it, and it's gone. I think that's awesome. Many also asked who my favorite character in EarthBound is, as well as in the Mother series. And since Bubble Monkey is the obvious answer, and people probably want something more than that, I'll exclude him from this question. For EarthBound in particular, I'll say Paula, and for the series as a whole, probably Kumatora. Though for a long time I would have said it was Duster, and he still is one of my favorites. What is my favorite most useless EarthBound fact or trivia? Probably that in Threed after the sun comes back, if you wriggle yourself a certain way, you can actually talk to this guy again who's behind this door, and he actually has new dialogue written for the scenario, but I don't know how many people have ever seen this. I found out about this trick probably like 6 years ago at this point, and it's still one of my favorite things about the entire game, even though it might be a mistake, honestly. Have I ever seen BuzzBound or BuzzBound Shadows of Gygas? And if so, what did I think of them? I've seen the first one, but I have not seen the second one yet. It's just really long and I haven't gotten around to it yet. Though it's kind of funny of me to be saying it because of the length when I have produced several videos much longer than that, but that's besides the point. So I've only seen the first one and I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool, and I'm sure the second one's pretty cool too. I'll eventually get around to it, though many people have been asking me to do like a reaction video to it, and that's frankly just not my style, so I will not be doing that. But in terms of what I actually thought about them at like a more deeper level than what I just said, I thought BuzzBound was pretty neat. I thought the art was obviously very impressive, but I mean, to be honest, I didn't find it really scary. That just didn't really creep me out. I've just been around so long on the internet now. I've seen kind of every creepypasta come and go, so it didn't really bring something new to the table that like blew my mind. But I think the actual presentation of it is what really elevates it above, you know, just another creepypasta or something. It's a lot of fun. It's really funny though to see how many people actually were falling for it and were like, oh my gosh, is this real, when it's so clearly fake. It's like P.T. Barnum says. Multiple people asked what I would personally like to see from a hypothetical Mother 4. There's an old interview where a toy talks about that if he were to make a Mother 4, it would be centered on the idea of romantic love, and seeing as love is the central theme of the entire series, that does seem like kind of the next logical direction to take it, so I would be very much in favor of something like that. In terms of other elements though, I'm frankly just not quite sure, because the thing is so much of a toy's, you know, baby essentially, that it would feel wrong to interject my own like personal desires from it. I know that's not the most satisfying answer, but you know, it's kind of hard because Mother 3 is so conclusive to the whole series. It's it's difficult to figure out or think of like where to go next from there. It would probably have to be some sort of prequel, and the big question mark is like, what would the actual story be? Like, who would the villain be? And the only place I could think to possibly place it is maybe right before Mother 3 and the white chip stuff. So I'll just say that maybe it could lead up right into Mother 3, and you know, that would probably be fine enough, though I'm sure there would be a lot of people complaining because they'd be like, I already know what happens next. Not getting dramatic irony would kind of be the point of it. Next question. Some people also asked if there were other RPGs I was into besides the Mother series, and yes, I like quite a few. Obviously, you have your Pokemons and your Mario RPGs. Pokemon Platinum and Super Mario RPG, in fact, were some of the first RPGs I ever played. But I'm also into the Persona games. I played 3, 4, and 5. I kind of dropped 1, but I would like to finish it at some point. It's more of a TRPG than a traditional JRPG, but I do also like Fire Emblem, though I've only actually played all the way through 1 game in that series. Final Fantasy VII is another favorite of mine. I'm also currently playing some Dragon Quest and Shin Megami Tensei games, and I'm really looking forward to Metaphor Fantasio. So I hope that answered the question well enough. And if you're ever curious about what I'm currently playing, I do have a backlogged account that I'll also link in the description. Some people were curious about what my channel would be about if it wasn't about the Mother series, and I had to give this quite a bit of thought, but I think it may be about movies, like old movies from like, I don't know, between the 40s and the 70s probably. I'm a big movie fanatic, and I just recently rewatched Rosemary's Baby from the late 60s, and it just reminded me how much I love film and how I would love to do just like a 5-hour analysis of that movie. Who knows, maybe I will just drop a movie analysis sometime. I did also want to do a video on Rocky once, and that was, I don't know, like a year and a half ago at this point, so who knows if I'll ever actually get around to doing it. But movies are the first thing I think of, but in terms of like another video game series, probably a boring answer, but probably the Mario series. If I could add a new gameplay mechanic to a Mother game, what would it be? Not really an original idea of mine, but those like initial battle mechanics for Mother 3 on the N64 sound really interesting, where you could talk to animals, and then there's also the whole thing about like initiating battles was much different. Probably something like that, though I did actually toy with the idea for a while of creating a game that was kind of inspired by Mother 3's rhythmic mechanic, where you could do this thing where you could essentially steal a part of another enemy's song from a previous battle and then sample it so that rhythmic combos would be easier in another battle, because then you could just use part of that in order to create kind of like a quasi-new song, though it's a very complicated idea that I don't know if would actually translate to gameplay all that well. What is my favorite Mother series enemy? This is a super easy one for me actually, because I've known it for years now. It is definitely the top dogfish from Mother 3, easily. Why did I decide to start making EarthBound shorts this year? This is a good question. A like main video from me takes a while to make, so I didn't just want to leave people hanging and decided to give them a little bit more than that. So initially they were like, you know, just clips from videos and stuff, but then I thought that was boring, so I started to make them specifically like original for shorts, so it felt like new content and just feel like recycled stuff, because it's easy for, you know, particularly dedicated viewers to see stuff like that and feel like it's just lazy, so I gave it much more effort eventually. And in terms of why I actually decided to start doing shorts content this year, it's pretty simple. Shorts content is specialized in order to reach new audience members, like people who might be interested in your stuff, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity to, you know, reach new people and tell more people about the Mother series. You know, it's still kind of a niche thing, so I thought it would be a really cool, neat thing if that could be a new avenue for people to discover the series through, and Megaharv makes great shorts content, and that sort of like inspired me as well. He's great. Like many, shorts content was very much a thing I was initially skeptical of, but once I saw that they were here to stay and it's probably not going to be leaving the platform, I thought I might as well utilize everything YouTube gives me to use, you know, all their tools and stuff. And I've just come to really enjoy making like those short bite-sized things. This channel used to initially be composed of a lot of short form content, just, you know, done as full-length videos essentially. And since I don't really do that anymore, but still sometimes have the ideas for them, and especially stuff like new stuff being announced by Hobonichi and stuff like that, I thought it would be a very good avenue to be able to report on that stuff kind of, you know, quickly initially, so that I could still be covering it to get it out to people so they can know about it, but I don't need to, you know, make some full-length video about it and make people feel like they got cheated out of a full-length video because I made this, I don't know, 2-minute one talking about Hobonichi merch or whatever. Some people were interested in how I ended up getting to collab with Cybershell for a video, and that was such a great honor. He's one of my favorite content creators, and it was just so exciting to be able to work with him this year. I'm not going to try to drag this answer out too long. I'm going to try to distill it the best I can, and that's that we have a mutual friend that I was able to meet him through, and we talked for a while, had a few conversations here and there, and then I eventually just asked him if he wanted to collab on something, and he was down for it. He's a really nice guy, and it was awesome to be able to work with him on something, and it was also very nice of him to give me a shout out about a month ago. That was really cool. Who is my favorite Undertale character, and have I played it more than once? I feel like Sans is the answer everybody gives, but as I've played it multiple times, which yes, I think I've done 4 or 5 playthroughs of Undertale since it came out, I have to say it's probably Papyrus. He initially seemed so one note to me, but with each replay over the years, I've fallen more and more in love with his character and just how funny and bombastic he is, as well as how much there actually is to his character, how there is really a lot of depth to him, especially when you tackle other routes and stuff. Really cool. What got me into EarthBound and the Mother series in the first place? As I alluded to before, it's not that special of a story. I learned about Ness and Lucas through Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I eventually started looking up all the different series that were included in it, so, you know, obviously that game was also my introduction to Star Fox, F-Zero, stuff like that, Fire Emblem. And when searching up the EarthBound series, I found a bunch of videos on it, websites and all that, and I kind of just fell in love with it, because it's a very unique experience that there really isn't anything like. You know, because as unique as something like Fire Emblem is, there's plenty of TRPGs out there, but there's no other JRPG that's really like EarthBound. Long story short, I started emulating the game, I downloaded a PDF of the player's guide, and, you know, the rest is history. Really enjoyed it. I was like 7 or 8 years old at the time. Some people also wanted to know if I've read the Mother novels and what my thoughts on them are. To be direct, no, I haven't read them yet, but I do intend to, and in terms of making a video about them or something, most likely. And if I do, it'll probably be a little while before that video comes out, because I was initially thinking of doing it this year, but I'm working on another video right now that's requiring a lot of reading, so I'm probably just gonna end up pushing it off to in the future. But yeah, I do intend on making a video about them at some point. What is my favorite EarthBound ROM hack or fan game? And I don't know, to be honest, I haven't played that many of them. I'm familiar with quite a few, but again, haven't played them myself. But I have to say, the one I'm looking forward to most is easily Mother Encore. Initially, when I was seeing the trailers and stuff for it, I was like, wow, that looks pretty good, but I'll tell you, that demo that came out last year just blew me away. It was really incredible, and I still think about it to this day how good that demo was, and I can't wait for them to actually continue it. While it is very different from Mother 1 in many respects, I could see it eventually being the one people play more for that experience than the original even. It's that good, and it's really impressive what PK Dots, the director, has been able to do with that experience, especially with him being so young and relatively inexperienced at directing. He's made a couple other games that are really cool, but I cannot wait to see what he does next. He's very talented. Am I secretly a part of any other fandom? Well, I don't know about secretly, but yeah, there's other stuff I like. I'm not super diehard into any specific fandom, but again, broad stroke, I really like movies. There's quite a few games I like. In fact, almost 2 months ago now, I played Shadow of the Colossus and just thought it was the greatest thing ever, and was researching and looking stuff up about it like for weeks on end. So, you know, I get into stuff here and there, and when I'm really into a game or something, I love to just research it for forever, and every time I see a movie, I'm reading about it like the entire day afterwards. What are my inspirations for my YouTube channel? Honestly, there's just too many to name, but I'll rattle off a few names. Cybershell obviously comes to mind, Red Letter Media, Neril, Did You Know Gaming, and also this channel called Funk E. I don't know, is it Funk and the E is silent? I'm not quite sure, but I really like their videos too, and my friend Malfazura introduced me to them, I don't know, like a year or something ago, and I really enjoy his videos as well. And the last question is, are there any videos I've done that I want to revisit? I won't say the specific ones, but there are at least 2 to 3 more videos I would like to straight up remake, kind of like how like a year ago I remade my Would EarthBound Work as a Movie video and did it much better. And then there's also a couple videos, maybe 2, that I would like to do follow-up videos on, like part 2s or whatever. There's a couple videos I'm just gonna kind of leave where they are now. Like there's a couple videos I can think of that I'm not that the happiest with now that I was initially, that I don't actually intend on coming back to at some point. So, you know, the idea of revisiting a topic or something like that is always fueled by if I think of something else to say, and it has to be something said that I don't feel like is said that often. I don't know, I think I made it pretty clear that I like to take some unpopular positions sometime to just play devil's advocate to spark conversation, and sometimes people are more willing to be receptive to it than others. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for 20,000 subscribers. If you like this video, let me know. If you have more questions, feel free to post them, and maybe I'll do another Q&A on this channel at some point. Let me know what you thought of this. So have a good day, everyone, and again, thank you so much.